And we also, I already mentioned this to Jim and others, we want to make sure that your concert come May is truly a glorious celebration of Mike and not only what he did here, but his legacy throughout in music. So please know that we're here and that we're being supportive and we really want to be a part of whatever it is that you put together for May. We can't wait to be a part of that as well. So,
Excellent.
thank you.
Thank you very much, Julie. Appreciate it. Well, just a few announcements, and first of all, kind of was on the fence about whether we rehearse tonight, but Mike loved this thing Cantate Domino. Talked with Cheryl about what to add in there. He loved, as you heard last week, Kevin Memley, and you know, I couldn't help but think about that piece and think about Sing to the Lord and keep singing to the Lord. I had another tune that came to mind through the week. I would sing it for you, except my voice is just not really good right now. But it's Your Eye is on the Sparrow. And, you know, keep singing, just keep singing. And so that's kind of inspired me into what I think we should do tonight. So as far as announcements are concerned, Cheryl talked with her today and earlier, and we went over what she would like for the memorial service. That service is, if you haven't seen it, it's at 11 o'clock on Saturday. We hope all of you can be there. I'd like to have you there at 9. There's a visitation ahead of the memorial service at 10. And so if we could meet at 9 and just, because I know would be a few people missing tonight, if we could be there at 9 and just kind of brush up on Cantate and Give Me Jesus and Hallelujah, those will be the ones that, generally speaking, this group sings for that memorial service. Cheryl wants Sing Cantate right ahead of the service before, it'll be the first thing that happens. And then she wants Give Me Jesus somewhere in the middle. And actually, when I'm thinking about it, this right here, she wanted, but she wants that as a prelude. As a prelude. So before the service, as people are still coming into the sanctuary, and then we'll do Precious Lord, which is representative of all of some of you and all of the other people that sang for him at either Salem or Bethel or other places. I think he was at one other place, maybe. Yeah, that he has been. So, church-wise. So, Cheryl said, we've always done Precious Lord, and so we'll do that right after Give Me Jesus. But this group can if you don't know it, this group can, I think, can automatically do that. Sight read this. It won't be that hard. And then she wants to end the service with the Hallelujah Chorus that we're doing from the Mount of Olives, which will be a fitting tribute. And that one in particular, she said, Mike would love it. So we want you to know that. Jason is also going to sing, and Sherry Seckler is going to play. Those of you who know Sherry, wonderful organist, keyboard person, is going to play Precious Lord for us, and Steve Williams is also going to sing something too. So Okay? Questions about the logistics of that? It's at Living Waters.
Where is that?
It's
It's
all,
on Knoxville,
Yeah.
7229.
North Knoxville.
It's out just past where Prospect meets Knoxville.
Okay.
If you go out that, if you go out that way, it'll be on the left side.
I'm sorry.
A street called Bethany.
Okay. Oh, okay.
It's at a stoplight. There's a stoplight.
It's on Bethany and Knoxville?
It's
Okay, well, I'm right.
It looked like
It was,
It was Bethany Baptist.
it was Bethany Baptist.
Used to be Bethany Baptist.
Right, yeah, I knew it was something changed.
That's the old Bethany Baptist.
Okay?
the sign will say Althea Center, but if you come down from the north, you'll see it there. Watch the road sign very carefully.
It's at a stoplight too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it's at a stoplight intersection.
Yes.
We're black.
I mean,
Cheryl wanted us, Cheryl, when we sang, Cheryl wanted us to, yes, to wear black.
What does that mean, church? 9:30.
Oh, that's, want the corral to be here at 9. We'll brush up on these for a half an hour by ourselves. And then the church people, who are not a part of this group, will add on at 9:30. And it should, Cheryl was gonna put that in the obituary. Those of you that are members of those churches, or you know people that sang with him at those churches, please pass the word, that they should be there at 9:30 if they wish to sing. Yes.
So solid black, because last night at one chorus, Jeannie said that the family asked for black and white on people that had sung.
Yeah, she was
Yeah.
saying that, but I don't know if it's happening.
with-
Black and white, yeah,
I
I
had planned on wearing
I think it just needs to be a mixture of that, and it doesn't matter whether black on top, white on the bottom, you know, it's just a mixture of black and white is what she said today, so. All right, yes.
Are we gonna sing through this one?
Yes, absolutely. And we want to do that for We Wish You Music or whatever that is too. Any other questions?
And you said Precious Lord was out of print, so you don't mind making copies.
Yeah, I'll make copies for you. I'll have them there on Saturday.
We should
But-
bring our folders.
Do you have, that was the other thing, thank you. Do you have folders?
Oh, I've got copies.
We have to pass them out.
You should buy for Cheryl's house.
What did you say?
Folders. You use black folders?
They're black, 3-ring binders.
Matter of fact, I think Mike always had them.
We have,
That's been.
what's that?
We don't have enough for everyone, but we have a lot. Unless you can get them from like.
We can get it.
Well, we can get them.
We can get it.
Where are we singing from? Are we in a choir loft or are we?
I'm not sure at this point.
Sure, so that-
She said,
Probably up.
the only thing I know is that we'll have a place to sit and we'll come up. And so there evidently is a,
There's no choir loft, there's like a stage. So she's probably gonna have some chairs, some.
okay.
No, it's not tiny.
Is it where we were for that rehearsal on Saturday?
So I'm just trusting Cheryl on the fact that that'll work.
I think it might be Saturday. It might.
There's no rises.
One thing, before we do these pieces, one thing that I wanted to do, and I know you want to sing, and I want to hear you sing, but it'll help all of us, I think. But before we do, one thing I thought some of you might be a positive thing for you to, because it'll help me know more about you and your relationship with Mike. And so from here on out, it's really critical. So, you know, if you have a funny memory, memory that just comes to mind, you know, about him and in your relationship with Philharmonic, I think it would be a positive thing. If you don't, that's fine too, but I do. So, I don't think I've told you the story that, and if I have, stop me, please. One of Mike's superintendents at Limestone is in my church choir. And so I was talking to him one night.
Would that be Mr. Beach?
No.
Dave Johnson.
Dave Johnson. And so I was talking to Dave Johnson about Mike and their relationship when he was at Limestone, and we were talking about Madrigal dinners and all the Madrigal dinners and how Mike, as many of you know, wanted to enhance those dinners and so on and so forth. And so he said, I only had to tell Mike once no. Maybe some of you Madrigal singers don't know that. You only had to tell Mike once. Well, now, according to Mike, he told him no a lot. But Dave said he only told him once. And he said Mike had him come into the cafeteria where the Madrigal dinners there were. And he kind of looks up and he goes, you know, Dave, I really would like to put a working fireplace in the middle of the cafeteria. And so can we cut a hole through the, I mean, I think it was this type of stuff, so it wouldn't be a problem there, but maybe a little hole out through the roof of the school. Dave said, what are you talking about? Absolutely not. But that was the only time, and I thought, sounds just like him. He's that way at Bradley too. So anyway, others.
I got one that always sticks out in my mind.
Okay.
And it was only funny to me because Mr. Morse felt so bad about it after the fact. I was 16 years old. I missed 3 months of school because I was just so incredibly sick. And the day I came back to school, he handed me my sheet music and said, you're singing today. And I looked at him, I said, I had my tonsils removed yesterday. He goes, you don't have a note from your doctor, you're singing today. So here I am, and I'm singing through this class, and I'm just like shaking my head the whole way through it. But I managed to get through it. And the next day I brought in my doctor's note. And he looked at me and he goes, I thought you were just screwing with me again. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. And he wrapped his, the only time the man ever hugged me, he wrapped his arms around me just as big as could be and gave me a big old hug. And he said, I am really so sorry. I am so sorry. And for about 3 days, every day, second hour for about 3 days straight, that's all the man did was apologize to me. And I just looked at him, I said, will you stop apologizing? I feel fine now. And I was ready to start singing again, but my doctor's note was still for another 2 weeks. He wouldn't let me sing.
So what were you screwing around with that you didn't?
Oh, I was one of those, I was a class clown. I always was. You know how I make remarks even now, just jokingly.
Yeah.
I was 10 times worse back then.
Others. Yeah, go ahead.
I had the pleasure of taking care of Mike the last couple weeks. I'm a retired nurse, and every Wednesday after choir practice, we'd go through what music we rehearsed and everything like that. And he always had a smile on his face. And if I couldn't remember what we rehearsed, Cheryl would get her music and say, okay, Sally, here's the music. Go through it real quick and tell me what you rehearsed. It's like, holy cow. So I think the second time I made a list of all the songs we rehearsed so I would know. But he was always, very proud of this group. And this group meant a lot to Cheryl and him, and we will truly miss him.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
My only music experience, I have no academic music experience, but I have music experience singing church choir and singing in chorale. And what I just really loved about Mike is his seriousness in bringing out the best in everybody's voices. And he would give people, he gave me a solo for one song in one concert, not the whole song, but it was something I wouldn't have had an opportunity to do anywhere else. But I just loved how he developed people.
Well, I loved the way he developed the group. We went from a ragtag, not so hot group to a reasonably decent choir with Mike as a conductor.
Go ahead.
Ed and I have known Mike and the kids and Cheryl for probably years and years and years and years. Their children are our godchildren. And so we sung with him under our church choir and sang with him in Morton Civic Chorus and sang here. And we probably know him as well as anybody. And he has different personalities than when he's here trying to be serious and trying to get things out of us. So it's really a loss for our whole family to be losing him, because it meant so much to us over probably, well, let's see, how old is Jason? So, over 40 years or more. So it's only right that we really do our best to honor him and Cheryl.
We're gonna do our best. That's
I've known Mike since I started teaching at Limestone in '81. I worked with him in the Magical Dinner. I think when I first was hired at Limestone, I went to a choir concert. And I thought, wow. I had come from a little bit of music background in college, and I thought, wow, this high school choir really sounds good. I wonder who the director is. And then I found out who it was. And then after I retired several years, I came to one of these concerts and I thought, now is my opportunity to sing with Mike Morris as my director. So I feel so lucky.
I had a very difficult time moving here and finding a choir that I could sing with. I directed choirs and I wasn't happy with any of the choirs. And Bill Lindgren asked me to come and sing with this maybe 5 years ago now. And I kind of dragged my feet, but I came. And after that first rehearsal, I just felt like I was home. And I've never, ever not wanted to come.
We just had such a sense of humor.
Yeah.
Very dry.
I'm just getting mad.
Yeah.
Even when he'd get mad at me, he'd joke with me.
Because Anna Marie and Mike and David, their uncle was my step-grandfather. So they're sort of cousins. Sort of. Short tail. And I always knew Mike had worked with Limestone, and I'd always heard about the Madrigals, never made it. I lived in Havana for many years. I have no music training either, but I always loved to sing in church choirs. And when I came to this area, went to church with Melissa, I'd never heard of Philharmonic. I didn't know it existed. And because of Melissa, we came to the one of the Christmas concerts. And I was looking for a place to sing because our church doesn't have a choir. If it hadn't been Mike directing, I might not have come, because I knew Mike.
Yeah.
And first practice, I thought, I'm never going to be able to do this. It's much too hard. But it's been wonderful.
Go ahead.
I came to Limestone my sophomore year. I sang under Mike for 3 years. And I came from Bushnell Prairie City, which was 60 kids in my graduating class. It's one long hallway, ag at one end, biology at the other. When I came to Limestone, I knew there was this Spanish teacher that knew my grandmother. I don't think I'd met her yet. Dottie lived with my grandparents in college for a while. But my first day as a sophomore, I think the sophomore girls chorus was third hour. I had no clue. If you've ever seen Limestone, there's always everywhere. Yeah, right.
It's a giant figure 8 with limbs.
First day after choir, I think, I'll just ask my teacher where my next class is. And he looked at me and said, how do I get to this room? And he looked at me and said, oh, honey, I have no idea. I never leave the choir room. And so then that Christmas, I served at Madrigals, because that's what you do as a sophomore girl in the choir department at Limestone, is you were at Madrigals. And we just had no clue. The only Madrigals we had ever been to was one my parents' church had put on in Kankakee and one at Western.
Yeah, right.
And Limestone blew us away, except for one little thing. The recorder group. My dad listened to them, and you most of you know my dad, and know that he plays recorder. And after Christmas break, he called up Mike and he said, I think I can help with your recorder group. And so he did the recorder group, or assisted with the recorder group, until we moved. We had a set of crumb horns in our front closet that the Magical program owns. If you don't know what a crumb horn is, it's got a hook on the end, and it literally sounds like a dead goose. You think about it. Crumb horns are worse.
They're bad.
And I have always found it funny that my dad got the Parent of the Month award for an activity that I was not involved in. I didn't ever do anything with Madrigal after service sophomore year. I didn't play recorder, but he got Parent of the Month sometime in my senior year, and he still has the little marble thing that Livingstone gave him. And I know that he and my mom both treasure their memories of Mike and of singing with him in this group.
Nate. Anybody else? Yeah. go ahead.
Diane Bloom, she texted me last night and she wanted me to read something to the group.
Go ahead.
She said, I have both abundant respect and gratitude for participating in the chorale with Mike as director. The Philharmonic members and the community have been blessed. Sing Beyond Your Best for J. Michael Morris on May 1st. My heart is with the Philharmonic Chorale and with his family.
And where is she?
Now, she has sang, she was an alto that sang with our group
Oh,
many
okay.
times.
Okay.
She wanted to
How about
favor.
former members? One of my friends is a soprano who sang in here for several years, but she hasn't for some. But I bet she'd like to sing with us.
Well, and that, if they want to come and sing, if they sang this song, it's flexible. I mean, just have them come and join in for that prelude, or if they know this piece, they can come up. After we get done with Give Me Jesus, they can come up for Precious Lord. And if they want to sing that, though, I'd like to have them come at 9:30. And then there's the.
That's the add-on time.
Yeah.
She's a good singer.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Every year on his birthday, Mr. Morris gotten a plate of chocolate chip cookies from the family because of what he did for our oldest son, Paul, who couldn't be here tonight for some reason. Maybe you know, but I don't. But anyway. When he was a freshman in String, he auditioned for the Madrigal group, an elite group of about 12, 16 people. Everyone else can serve, but only a few. But anyway, he auditioned for Mr. Morris, and Mr. Morris took him in as a tenor. And over the summer when they rehearsed, he discovered he hadn't met me yet. So he realized that this guy was not going to be a tenor. But of course, the parts had already been set, so he made my son sing tenor, and I'm sure it was good for his character. But because of that, every year, Paul would think that around his birthday time that we ought to play cookies. And of course, what would happen is that Paul wouldn't bring them himself, either one of his siblings or then me would bring them, and Mr. Morris would say, why didn't Paul bring them? He was always getting us to do that. Because he probably didn't want to face Mr. Morris and remind him of the he's always wanted a tenor,
Yeah, always wanted a
tenor.
Yeah, exactly.
And
that happens.
My son disappointed him, but he still sang tenor that year.
Gosh, yeah. I remember at Bradley, for several years, especially when I was at Geneseo High School. Was there for 18 years, and we'd always get Dr. Davis would always, I know some of you know John Davis, former choral director at Bradley, would have the John Davis Invitational Choral Festival, and then others that came after Dr. Davis certainly carried that on, and we would always come down. That was students just love that. But I remember the students always asking, are we going to hear Limestone this year? Are we going to hear Limestone this year? And that was that Limestone and Metamora were the two that my students, or the students at Geneseo High School, always wanted to hear. Gary, in terms of getting the piano over there, do you need help? When do you plan on doing it?
I think Jeannie called the guy that knows the most is Lee Wanger.
Yeah,
Okay.
I haven't gotten in touch with him. I left him a message.
Okay. If you need help,
I'm not
I
the brains
have,
of the operation, I'm the other.
I have access,
Oh, she's the brains?
Lee.
Oh, yeah, okay,
I
gotcha.
have access to a move truck if they need it.
All
That
right,
might be helpful.
okay. And I have a grand piano, the equipment to move a grand piano, since how we've moved it 14 times.
Oh my goodness.
14 times.
I got one thing to add.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know if most people know something from the standpoint of Mike. I mean, he's a musician and he does all the things that I guess goes with that, but I've actually worked with Mike, and I was amazed, mainly from the standpoint of the strength that he always had. And he was an individual who had absolutely a will about him. And I know that I did work with him once where he was Mr. Mud, because I was working at his house laying stone. And, you know, Cheryl's the director of things, of how things go together, the heave-ho. And so he got to be my laborer. And I really didn't think about it. I mean, he doesn't work physical job all the time. So I'm like working him hard, I mean, all day. And the mud man has got to work harder than the stone mason.
Oh, yeah.
And he was Mr. Mud, and he'd say, oh, I'm just Mr. Mud. And he worked a long day. He didn't know I was just gonna stay till I got it done. And he told me the next day, he could hardly move. But he literally stuck it out the whole day, and he's, you know, he's 10 years older than me. And I never think people think of him that way, but I knew through his whole struggle what kind of strength
Yeah,
he was using.
right, yeah, you can tell.
And he did have that.
You did. All right, let me hear before we wish you music. You sing that one? Okay. Anybody need a copy? Got a few. And one. Yeah, know, I know you're just getting warmed up, but know where you're going to place that bottom note there. We'll give you one measure plus yours. Careful of the darkness. go back to with the goal